Just a little bit earlier today, Nvidia confirmed that the GTX 1060 will be released this July, and the price and its performance really does shock me. So at first I was like, okay, they're making another 60 series card, the 960 was very much gimped, and so the 1060 will probably be overpriced and underperforming. But no, according to Nvidia, it is going to have GTX 980 performance for $249. Now let's think about the RX 480 for a second. The RX 480 is $200 for the 4GB and $239 for the 8GB. This will only be 6GB, the GTX 1060, but it's going to have 980 performance, which is even greater than 970, and remember that the 480 is right below the 970, so if you can get for $250, and they're not going to have like a super short supply, or they're not going to, only make it Founders Edition prices, which I think the Founders Edition is going to be $300. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. I am sure about the $250 price. Anyways, if it really is this cheap to get a GTX 1060, which is 6GB and over 980 speeds or around that, that will just crush the RX 480. I know, I said a couple videos ago, hey, the RX 480, it's great, it's a great chip, and yes, they're releasing later today a driver update to fix those power draw issues somewhat, but if that's true, RX 480 is done. Now, before all the RX 480 fanboys come out of the woodwork and tell me to drink bleach, remember, the RX 480 is still a really good card, and especially at the $200 price range. But, once again, if Nvidia can deliver on the performance, which I totally agree they can, I know they can. I never doubt Nvidia's performance, I doubt their pricing and availability. That's what they always screw up on. They're saying the 1080 and 1070, it was super hard to get a 1070 for, at MSRP, a Founders Edition, get an aftermarket card, let alone one that's at the lowest MSRP. MSI said they'd be selling one at that price, but you still can't find it at that price because all the prices are dramatically inaccurate to what they're supposed to be. So, what I think is that if the price is $250 for a 1060, then yes, RX 480 is done. But once again, like I said a little while ago, if it will be, overpriced for quite a while, and it'll always be around $300 or whatever the Founders Edition price is, it'll still be a really good card, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to crush the RX 480 like I said it could. Now, one more little thing in tech news, if you guys have heard, unfortunately, the display ports on the 1070s and 1080s do not support the DisplayPort connection on the HTC Vive. So if you take your DisplayPort cable for the HTC Vive, plug it into your GTX 1070 or 1080, it's not going to work. It won't work at all. I'm not really sure why that is. It hasn't really been released why. Nvidia says they're trying to work on a software fix for this, but if not, I think there might be some sort of a recall or a refund. With the whole 3.5, 4GB VRAM issue of 970, they offered 30% refunds to people, and I think, if there's definitely a component that isn't working, especially DisplayPort, and they advertise all these cards as like super VR cards, and now you can't use your VR device, that's a big no-no. I don't really do VR, I'm not big into that. It's not that I don't like it, I just don't see the point in investing in it currently. But for people who bought the 1070 and 1080 to do VR, and now they can't plug it into their DisplayPort because maybe they're using HDMI for their TV or something, or their monitor, well, that's not okay, and they gotta fix that. Either give them a new card, or give them a refund, or give us an adapter at least to go from HDMI to DisplayPort so we can still use that, or DisplayPort to HDMI, so I can still use that port and it doesn't waste it for me, and I can still use my HDMI to my monitor, or my DisplayPort, or whatever. So yeah, pretty much just want to talk about how the 1060 is coming out, and the fact that, it might actually be better than the 480 in both price and performance, and maybe there'll be a new king in the whole price to performance market that the 480 is currently sitting on. So yeah, leave a dislike if you liked the video, leave a like if you disliked it. Don't do that. Leave a like if you liked it, and leave a dislike if you disliked it, but don't leave a dislike. I know there's a lot of AMD fanboys and be like, hey, you're making fun of my card. No, I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that at all. If you have a 480 right now, I totally respect you. You know what, I got a 1070, and maybe, the RX 490 will destroy the 1070 and the 1080. I don't know, but that was my purchase decision, and you might have your own purchase decision. I don't mean to insult that at all. I just simply want to say, there can always be something better than what you have, and you have to learn to respect that. You can't be full of salt like half the internet is and be like, oh, this person has something better than me. Obviously must hate on them, and they're obviously evil. So yeah, don't be like that. Be a good person. Subscribe if you want more news and life advice and gaming videos and other useless shit. Have a good day. Goodbye.